Nope, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go. We're just going to go with it. Okay, so yesterday we started talking about the Greeks. I know we got here. Yesterday we started talking about the Greeks. Once we get to the Greeks, we have the Minoans who come first. They lay the foundation of language. Then we have the Mycenaeans, who are what you think of when you think about Greece. Think about the Parthenon, the Acropolis, all that stuff. Okay, Trojan War, the Policies, Sparta, and Athens. Okay, so Pericles is going to be the high point of Greek culture. He's going to usher in the classical age, supporting art, drama, all the things we think of. Okay, now when we talk about Greek colonization is super important for two major reasons. It increases trade around Mediterranean Sea. Guys, it's on my notes, so if it's on my notes, it's important enough for you to write down. Increases trade around the Mediterranean Sea and spreads Greek ideas and Greek culture. The reason why the Greeks are so important is because they are the foundation of European society. The Romans are going to copy what the Greeks are doing, and everyone copies the Romans. Including here in the United States, we copy the Romans. So, when we talk about Greek colonization, those are the two big points. Spreads Greek ideas and culture and increases trade. Okay? Alright, so the effects we've covered. So your Persian Wars. We're going to now cover the Persian Wars from the Greek perspective, not the Persian perspective. So, it is important to understand that in Persia, around the time Xerxes is in power, are things going well in Persia or poorly? Poorly. People are very upset. He's very harsh. He's a very unfair ruler. So people are pissed and people are rebelling. If you're Greek and you're looking over at your neighbors being like, damn, things aren't going well over there, what are you going to do? Call the police, or you're going to get involved as well, correct? So the Greeks are going to send some warships over to Persia because they see the people fighting the Persians. They're like, hey, if we arm the people, we can get them to overthrow the government. It'd be great. So the Greeks, seeing that times are tough in Persia, send people to Persia to try to overthrow the Greek Empire, the Persian Empire. It works out pretty well. However, the Persians are going to suppress a good amount of rebellion, and they're going to actually sail for Greece, and they're going to burn down Athens. Now, who actually will, in the end, win the Persian Wars? The Greeks. However, it is a dirty knockout fight. It is a bad fight. Eventually, the Greeks will win. The Persians will lose everything. The Achaemenid Empire, after the Persian War, is gone. Remember, they were already rebelling before the Persian Wars, and they're going to spend about 8 years fighting in the Persian Wars, and after that, everyone's like, and you're done. And that's how it's going to end. So, what you need to know about the Persian Wars: internal Persian revolt that the Greeks get involved in. The Greeks eventually win, but Athens is burned down. So, if your home capital gets burned down, do you think you're super safe and protected, or are you a little nervous? You're a little nervous, absolutely. So because the Greeks are a little nervous, they create the Delian League. Now, the Delian League is also in my notes, so it's important enough for you to know. Now, the Delian League, it was spearheaded by Athens. Okay? Why would Athens spearhead this after the Persian Wars? Why, Dean?
They had a strong fleet, military fleet.
They had a strong military fleet, but why is also Athens spearheading this, Aiden?
They got their town burned down.
Yeah, well, not their town, their capital, their major city, all these wonderful things got burned down. So Athens is spearheading this thing called the Delian League. Now, the Delian League was a Greek unification to fight any imposing Persian threat. Sounds like a great idea, correct? Get everyone to work together, finally, because remember, the Persian Wars is really between Athens and Persia. So now the Athens is like, hey, we got our capital burned down, and we have a really strong military. What are you going to do? To all the other policies, not really to Sparta. Well, everyone's like, oh my god, we could be attacked by the Persians too. So everyone joins the league. Well, the problem is, Athens is the one who started it. Athens is the one who's leading it. Where do you think all the money's going? Athens, because Athens got to rebuild its whole city. So what happens is, all of the other polises and city-states of Greece, do you think they're happy or annoyed with Athens? They're incredibly annoyed. So, the Persian War happens, the Greeks win, but the Greeks are terrified they could be invaded again, so they create the Delian League. The Delian League is spearheaded by Athens. All the money is going to Athens, even though all these other polices and all that stuff are paying for it. So, everyone gets annoyed with Athens. So guess what happens? Peloponnesian War. Everyone's going to attack Athens. Okay? So, you have the Persian War, which the Greeks do win, but it's going to take a huge blow on Athens. You have the Delian League, which is created because of the Persian Wars in order to unify the Greeks against the Persians. Well, everyone gets annoyed with Athens, so all of the Greek polises invade Athens. This Greek city-states fall into a civil war, and the civil war is called the Peloponnesian War. It is a civil war in Greece. The two major sides is Athens versus Sparta. The Persian War is Greece versus Persia, specifically Athens. The Spartans do help a little bit. Okay, the Peloponnesian War. Peloponnesian sounds Greek. Yeah, it's a Greek civil war. That's how I remember it. And Athens is eventually going to surrender. Sparta has a taste of victory. Can we agree? So they're going to keep on fighting. Is this a good thing or a bad thing if you are an outsider looking at Greece? Would you say, this is a good time to invade? Yeah, they're literally fighting and killing each other. This is a great time to invade. So guess who enters the picture? No, actually, the Persians are kind of a hot mess at the moment. King Philip II shows up. So, if you are not looking at my notes, you definitely need to, because these are the highlights here. Okay, so, you have the Persian Wars. It is really Athens versus Persia. However, Athens is going to burn. Everyone gets scared. Create Delian League, led by Athens, causes major issues. So, they have the Peloponnesian War, which is everyone's fighting against Athens. Everyone's pissed off at Athens. Sparta wins. You need to know Sparta wins the Peloponnesian War. Because everyone is fighting the Peloponnesian War, no one is noticing that Philip II of Macedonia is like, damn, this is a good time to come in. Hey, they got a lot of money down there. They got a lot of things going on. I like it. I'm going to take it. So Philip II of Macedonia is going to invade and conquer Greece. You should know his name, A, because he conquered Greece, and it's Alex G's dad. Who's Alex G? Alexander the Great. So, Philip II is Alexander the Great's father. He is going to conquer Greece. Okay? Now, the next generation is going to be Alexander the Great. So, we have now closed the book on the Mycenaean age. So, it goes Minoan, Mycenaean, Alexander the Great for empires, correct? Hello? Okay. Alexander the Great, rapid expansion towards India. It's going to go really well for him for a while until his, of course, sorry, I just got super distracted. I'm getting blown up. Alexander the Great is going to expand his empire drastically for a good amount of years. He's going to get all the way to India, and then his troops are going to mutiny. What's a mutiny? You can raise your hand and tell me what's a mutiny. What do we got? Isabel.
It's when, like, all the lower, not class officials, they start a rebellion against the top.
There you go. So, all of your foot soldiers and all that stuff refuse to fight for you. Refuse to fight, and they protest everything. Okay, is that a good thing or a bad thing in the military?
Bad.
Very bad. Okay? So, everyone refuses to fight. So, the reason is because they conquered all of this on all the way over to the Hindu Kush Mountains. Wouldn't you get tired too? Yeah, they would. So, the Hindu Kush Mountains all the way over there, that once they hit India, they start pouting and saying, no, I'm too tired. So, at that point, Alex is like, you're probably right. So, he goes on living his life. So, Third Empire is rapid expansion towards India as Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great is going to get drunk one night, eat too much, and his stomach explodes, and he dies. Okay? With his death, we have the Hellenistic age. Okay? As soon as he dies, we begin the Hellenistic age. This is when you have the Seleucid Empire in Persia. After his death, if you look over there, I have 4 Hellenistic. Post Alex G, his generals control the territory. So all the land that belonged to Alexander the Great is now going to be divided up amongst his generals. Okay? In Persia, we call this the Seleucid Empire. It's going to be the foundation for what will become the Hellenistic empires. Okay? Now, what you do need to know is that it's going to be blending Greek and Persian ideas. It's going to be a huge blending at this time. Pre-Hellenistic age is really going to be Greek, Greek, Greek all the time. Post-Hellenistic is going to be a blending of all cultures and ideas. All right. So, Antigote Empire, it's the smallest. Okay, it's fine. You do need to know this one, the P1. It is the wealthiest of the Hellenistic empires, and its capital is Alexandria. So where is it? Egypt. Okay, so over on my board I have the P1. Egypt is the wealthiest one. Textiles, it has a library and a museum. That's what you need to know for it. Okay, so the Library of Alexandria, have you heard it? If you've seen National Treasure, they talk about it all the time. It's the lost sea scrolls of the city of Alexandria. No? Okay. All right. During the Hellenistic times, you are going to have a lot of, you're going to have the Pan-Hellenic Games, which is also on my notes. This is a celebration of being Greek. Please understand that during the Hellenistic time period, being Greek is celebrated, but all of these Greek territories are really unique and different, and that's what makes it special. Right? Okay? So, at the end of the day, being Greek is a big deal, but it's very, very unique and special. Now, the reason why these colonies or polises are important is because Greece has very little grain, okay, and it's going to need food support from other people. All right. So, you should have Pan-Hellenic Games. Please stop and look at me once you get that. Once you have that on your notes, don't do anything else. I always point back to my wall when you need something from your wall, okay? Now, patriarchal society is what Greece is. It's always a patriarchal society, correct? From here on out. Now, the Greek one is a little bit unique. Women are considered goddesses. We are the pure. We are the divine, okay? We are supposed to be protected. Your wives are supposed to be these holy, perfect, pure ideal, okay? That you only have relations with your wife in order to make a baby. That's it, okay? We're supposed to be pure. We're the moral center of the family. If you want to have relations with another woman, you have a prostitute. So, ladies were seen as pure and divine. Your wife is supposed to be the most moral, is the moral guidepost of your family. If you wanted to have any carnal relations, you would have a prostitute. And you would typically have, for every husband, would have 1 or 2 prostitutes. And that's where you would spend most of your time. Okay? So it's a little bit different from any other society we've seen. The Romans are going to do it a lot fancier. Yeah, they do it a whole big way too. Sparta is going to be a little bit of the exception. In Sparta, women were seen as the moral center, but men were also supposed to be pretty moral. So you weren't really supposed to be publicly having a prostitute. You could do it on the sly. But in Athens, you would bring your prostitute with you on dates. It was like a well-known thing. And that shows that women's place was there at home. All right, slavery is going to be a thing. The Greeks believed that they were too smart to do manual labor. So they had slaves to do pretty much everything. The Romans are going to inherit this view as well. The Greek language is going to be based off the Phoenician alphabet. They're going to add vowels, though. So math and science, you do need to know this. You will see this on my wall as well. So you do need to know some of the accomplishments of the Greeks via math and science. First thing is they are the ones who created rational thought, the idea of sitting there and thinking of the reasons why something happens. The justification of that's how the gods want it is not accepted. That you have to have a reasonable explanation. The big one you need to know is Pythagoras. Okay, he is a systematic approach to math, which you'll see on my board. He writes Pythagorean theorem, right? Whatever it is. Whatever, I don't know. I haven't used it since I needed it in school, okay? Sorry to bust your bubble, you're never going to need it again. No one ever uses it. Like, what is it, the sides of a triangle?
Yeah. A squared plus B.
When do you think you're going to use that in your real life, people? I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't sit like at a restaurant being like, I wonder how much area is in that triangle.
Somebody ties you up in a car and asks you to solve for C.
Oh my God.
I always ask that.
However, it's important to know because you have to be able to think logically about something and stuff like that. So I guess I get the skill, but like you're never going to use it again. Like when I was in high school, when we had to learn like surface area and stuff, like you had to find the surface area of rectangles and squares and all that crap. My math teacher tried to justify, well, when you buy paint, you need to know how much paint you're going to need to paint a wall. And I was like, by the way, you don't go into the room saying, well, I've done the math. I have. Like, no, they say, oh, you need a gallon of paint. So if they try selling you that crap, don't buy it. Buy a gallon and get a little small one on the side so you can do your touch-ups later. Yes?
I remember I would teach had a big old chart that had like every math thing when you use it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were they realistic? Have you ever used any math thing outside your classroom? Yeah.
I have.
You have? What?
Prices. You can pay prices of different items. Like, should I get a big mac and cheese or should I
Taxes?
Yes.
No, I feel like we should.
Gotta calculate those.
Percentages, I get. But that was 4th grade. I learned percentages in 4th grade. Anything after 8th grade, never used.
Well, what if you're like cutting out felt or something?
Oh my
You
god.
don't-
Oh my god. Do you think I sit around cutting out felt? What the hell would I do with
Or
felt?
if you're tipping a waiter.
No, it's percentages.
Who said that?
You can do it I have to use a calculator.
4th grade.
It's on the bottom of the receipt now.
They
It's
should.
like 40%.
That's how to do it.
But you don't always get a receipt. Like if I'm going to a
Three,
street vendor, I
two,
need to make sure I have the right money.
1. The reason why you have to learn math, in which I truly believe, you need to be able to think critically, and math does teach you to think critically, whether you like it or not. You have to sit there and kind of hash it out. There's a right answer and a wrong answer. That's why they teach you math. Anyway, moving forward, I didn't know this was going to get so heated. I didn't know you're so passionate about math. I learned my lesson. I will not be talking crap about math again. All right, so your next major person is hypocrites. Oh my god, hypocrite. That's is that Harry Potter? Whatever. He's a human anatomy. He's the guy who's doing all the bones and kind of laying out the foundations of his bones. He was pretty close to being right, by the way. Do you know how he did all of his research? He cut up dead bodies. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so you do need to know Socrates. Socrates is going to be your logic. Okay? His student is Plato, and Plato is going to play a major role here. Socrates kills himself by eating hemlock. Are you here for a soda? Is that why you're here?
No.
Are you here now for a soda?
No.
Okay. Socrates is going to be the teacher of Plato. Plato is going to write the Republic, which if you take philosophy in college, you'll have to read. Oh my God. It's just a bunch of questions over and over and over again with no answer. I'm just going to let you know now. All right. And then you have Aristotle. Okay. He is all about reason and justification of those reasons. He is going to be the teacher of Alex G. And who's Alex G? Someone asked me, who's Alex G. and why are they all over the history? Is it this other student? No, it's not a student. It's Alexander the Great. I'm just too lazy to write. Okay, so it's Alex G's teacher. Okay, this is why Alexander the Great is going to be spreading so many Greek ideas and culture because of his amazing teacher called Aristotle. Don't worry, when you get famous and stuff like that, they'll be like, oh my God, they were taught by Samantha Bennett. I'll have the same type of respect as Aristotle. It's kind of a big deal. Just kidding. All right. Last thing you need to know about the Greeks is their religion and their theology. Now, the Greeks are polytheistic. The reason why you need to know this is because the Romans are going to copy it. Okay? Now, they are polytheistic, and the number one god is who? Zeus. And what is his weapon of choice?
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. You don't really need to know this lightning bolt. I just want to know if you knew. He is the central god. The interesting thing about the Greek gods, which will then become the Roman gods, is they are flawed like humans. They have affairs all the time. Who's his wife, you know? Oh, look at you. Your 4th grade teachers would be so proud. You learned in 7th grade? What the hell do you people do all day?
Learn.
Sleep.
I think I'm learning.
4th grade.
Metabolize carbohydrates.
Alright, so the interesting thing about the Greeks is that their gods are completely flawed, so they have a lot of human flaws, which are very interesting, that are going to come about really in the Romans. It is important to know the Greek religion is government supported. The Greek religion is government supported, which means it is mandated by Greek law that if you are in an official Greek polis, you have to participate, which means you have to go to the festivals, you have to do that. It is government mandated. Now, the Greeks are going to lay the foundation. The Romans are going to steal all of their gods. The Romans are going to also make it mandated. The reason why a government would use a religion is it's a unifying force and it's government control as well. They control the gods, they can control the people. Have a good day, guys. You have a test tomorrow if I see you tomorrow.